Now, I would jump into this chair like I usually would, but I don't want to. My stomach hurts.
Let's hit the throttle. Oh my God, yeah, hands going up. Let's hit the dance floor again.
Wild like.
Hello, welcome to the Wild Review. I'm the Wild Reviewer, and today I'm going to review a thing. It's another one of these late night ones. It's not that late. It's kind of early, actually. Today is, yet again, one of these reviews where I'm sitting in my nice chair, and you can always... This is uneven. There we go. You can tell what kind of review it's going to be when I'm sitting in the chair. It usually means I've just seen something and now I want to talk about it. There's a difference. When I'm in the chair, I've just seen something. When I'm standing up and jumping around all the place, it means... you stop recording because your friend doesn't get the gist when you're filming. Today, I'm talking about Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, a movie that I did not expect to be so good. This one may be a bit shorter than Star Wars, because with Star Wars I had a lot to say about it, mostly because there were a lot of good things, while there were also a lot of bad things. With Jumanji, that is completely different. The one thing I do have to mention about Jumanji, though, is the movie that came before it, Jumanji, with Robin Williams. I'll be very honest with you, the first one I didn't really see fully. I remember I watched it, but I don't have very good memories of it, nor did I see the beginning of it. In kindergarten, I don't know whose idea it was, but they thought it was a good idea to watch Jumanji during recess. It was raining outside, so obviously we couldn't go outside, so we watched Jumanji. Again, I don't know whose idea it was, but I was about 5 years old at the time, and I did not understand a thing that was going on. When you put a big eating angry flower on the screen and a bunch of wild animals running everywhere, I mean, it's bad enough that as a child I was freaked out by the frickin' scene in Teletubbies with the marching animals only because the music in the background was creepy. But now, we got me as a 5-year-old being forced in class to watch a scene with a bunch of wild animals breaking into a house. That's my biggest fear. I was at an age where I didn't realize the difference between reality and what was on screen yet. In the end, I was crying, and I'll be a man about it. You know, you gotta admit these things. I'm not gonna lie to you people. I was genuinely afraid of Jumanji. Of course, if I watch it now, I've seen clips. Obviously, it doesn't scare me anymore. I'm 18 now. But I was a little kid. It's acceptable if you're like under the age of 6, or maybe even 5. Maybe I was at the limit. I was at the maximum age limit. I got upset. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even realize Robin Williams, who voiced Genie in Aladdin, was in it. It took me a few years to realize, oh, Robin Williams is in it. Because at that age, I really don't know. You're used to all these happy, colorful things, and when you see a film like Jumanji, well, you start to think. My teacher's partner, her assistant, she got really mad at me because I was crying. No one else was, but I was. I was just scared, and I don't think she understood that. But then again, this woman, I don't think she liked me. She would always yell at me. Anyway, enough with my kindergarten traumas. Bottom line, I really haven't seen the first Jumanji in its total length, in its whole. But in a way, you don't really need to have the understanding of that movie to understand this one, because it's like a brand new story. So in the first Jumanji, obviously, it's a board game. Well, times have obviously changed, and now it's all about video games, touchscreens, and I'm very glad they didn't go with touchscreens. In this movie, there isn't a board... Well, there is a board game, but only for like the first minute and a half. The board game makes its way over to this kid named Alex, who is very uninterested in board games and would rather play video games. Specifically the console video games, like the old Nintendo set video games. Not like the DS, I'm talking about the ones that you would actually plug into your TV, the console games. What's really interesting is the way that the game manages to transform itself. We obviously see it as a board game, but then overnight it transforms itself into one of those little console games, which is pretty cool, and that's how Alex gets sucked into the game. And then, fast forward to 20 years later, it's still a console game, and these 4 kids who are in detention make their way into the game, and now go on this huge adventure to get out. That's the whole purpose of it, just getting out of the game. That's all it is. It's not like, well, they obviously go on an adventure to save the day, and it's, oh, we're the heroes. The whole point is just to get out in the end. Like I said in the beginning, with Star Wars, it took me longer to talk about it because there were some good things and bad things. In this one, there really weren't any bad things. I genuinely just enjoyed the whole thing entirely. The first thing that I gotta say about this, though, is it's got a massive lineup of all these people that I never thought would work together. Granted, though, they don't technically work together. They're not. Some of them are in the same scene, while at the same time, some of them aren't. But there's just like a lineup of all these people that I know from different, like I've seen all of this is the first movie that I've seen all of these people in separate projects. Like this is the first time I've ever seen these people work together. Alright, so we have the normal movie stars, like we have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who was the main guy in the film. We have Kevin Hart and Jack Black, who are used to the screen. But then you got like Karen Gillan, who played Amy Pond in Doctor Who. And then you just had some like surprises, like Missy Pyle, I think that's how you say her name. She was the mother in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not the mom to Charlie, but the mother to the girl Violet, who became a blueberry. You got Martin Hinkle. Oh, I think I might have spelled her name wrong. It's not Marin. Is it? Hooray! Let's go on the internet! Maybe it's Maureen? Maureen Hinkle. She was the mother in 2.5 Men. She played Judith. You got, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, Rhys Darby? I don't really know how to say his name, but he plays a character named Steve on a TBS show I watch called Wrecked, which I haven't talked about yet. I'm gonna be talking about it, so we're gonna wait on that. To top it all off, if you weren't surprised yet, we also got Alex Wolff in this film, who you may recognize or may remember from the Naked Brothers Band. Anybody remember that show? The main reason why I saw this movie was because Alex Wolff was in it. And that surprised me out of nowhere, because ever since the Naked Brothers Band went off TV, that was the last we ever heard of these people. I know Nat Wolff, he did a few things. He's in a few movies. Both Nat and him are in like little movies here and there. The last time I ever really saw them on Nickelodeon was when they did an episode of Celebrity Brain Surge. But then earlier this year in the Kids' Choice Awards, I think I might have mentioned this, Nat Wolff's in it. It's like I didn't realize this. I wasn't listening. I just noticed the face. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting to see that. Yeah, so, I mean, everything else about this film, like, I'm probably just going to repeat myself what other people will probably say about this film. I liked it. I genuinely liked this film. I didn't think I was, but I did. It was funny. It was really funny. The Jack Black's character, I don't remember, Bethany, that's her name. Bethany was, her avatar was a man, and there were a lot of gags about her being a man, but there weren't too many, which is great. You know, usually when you have one gag, you constantly play with that gag, and it dies out. They didn't do that. They kept the gag very neutral. They didn't do too much with it, but they didn't do too less with it. It was like, in the beginning it's funny, in the middle, okay, yeah, this is also a little funny, but there were rarely any gags at all at the end for it, which is great. Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas was also in this. Forgot to mention that. Yep, Nick Jonas. Anyway, the whole thing with Jack Black, his character and Kevin Hart, they were probably the funniest people in the movie. Karen Gillan wasn't as much. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was a little funny, but Kevin Hart and Jack Black were very hilarious. Jack Black especially, because the whole time he was acting like a girl because he was kind of supposed to act like a girl. It's a girl trapped in a man's body, and there's this whole scene where like they both have to go to the bathroom, and Bethany discovers, oh, I'm a man, you have different parts than me. I'm not going to expose too much because this is a family-friendly platform, so I won't go into the whole bit on how she was fascinated she had a penis. Overall, I just really enjoyed this film. I thought the pacing of it was great. The comedy was pretty great. I learned a lot about the characters like throughout the film. You know, I'm glad they didn't like well, I mean they technically did. I was gonna say they didn't like just throw out the character traits right then and there, but they kind of did. With Bethany, you knew she was a popular "it's all about me" girl, and Alex Wolff's character is the what was his name? He was all like, you know, the nerdy type kid, but also the good kid, and Fridge is the tough guy. I didn't know that Alex Wolff's character and Fridge were like, they used to be best friends. I didn't know that until like halfway through the film when Kevin Hart's character brings it up. Karen Gillan, who was Martha's avatar, it took me a little while to understand her character because she was like that black character. It's like, I just stay in the back. I'm kind of shy. It took me a while to understand her character traits, but in the end, I thought it was pretty good. Nick Jonas's character, he played a character named Alex. I don't know the name of his avatar, but the main guy was Alex. When he first showed up on screen, I instantly knew he was Alex. And that was a surprise to me because I wasn't listening to the name being called in the beginning of the film. I know I should, but I didn't. I was genuinely surprised how it ended. Like, and not with the whole, the four of them are now really good friends, and Alex Wolff's character and Martha, they're like a thing now. But Alex was the one that, not Alex Wolff, the character, I was very surprised with how his story ended up. He's been trapped in the game for 20 years. You'd think that he would be sent back years later. I then forgot, it's kind of a callback to the original Jumanji on how it ended. Now again, I didn't see the full thing. I actually missed the beginning of it. But I've watched clips on YouTube here and there. But I actually saw the CinemaSins video on Jumanji, Everything Wrong with It. So that's really where I'm getting my information based off of. And if I have it right, when Robin Williams' character finishes the game, he's sent back in time. Well, in this case, Alex finishes the game and he's sent back in time. And the boarded up house, the crazy old man, that's all reverted. And now Alex has a family, he is happy, and he's living his life like nothing ever happened. Like the 20 years, that wasn't anything. It was genuinely just really good. I enjoyed it, I was laughing, and I had a really great time watching it. We're going to ignore the fact that the people in the theater were very, very weird, and why was the theater just so packed that day? Why? So that's what I think about Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I thought it was really great. Now I want to hear what you guys think. Have you seen Welcome to the Jungle yet? Did you see the first movie? If you saw the first movie, what did you think of it? And if you saw the second one, what did you think? Did you think it was a great way to rebirth the movie into nowadays? Which I think they did a really great job on, because it wasn't like they were trying to fit it into today's society. It was just one of the great reboots that were made, I guess. Do you agree or disagree with anything that I said in this video? Tell me in the comments, and also leave me your suggestions for every movie, TV show, random thing you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Reviewer, and you just saw me review a thing. I had raviolis a few minutes ago, and I dropped one of them on my shirt. And, like, it's not a big deal, but now there's just, like, a little spot. And, like, I like this shirt. And it smells like ravioli sauce. I want ravioli sauce on my shirt.
Wild like wildlife.